Hello everyone, Nigel the Review, Nigel's Modelling Bench, and another book review. Yes, another book review from the Wingleader Photo Archive series. And here we have number 27. And this is a brand new book, launched at Telford 2023, Scale Model World. And I picked this one up there from Mark, and what a lovely book this is. Now, this is as I say, the 27th in the series. The 26th was the Spitfire, and the 28th is going to be the Boston, I think. So this is by wingleader.co.uk. It's £19.95 if you want to get one of these. I can't believe they've held the price, but I'm not going to go into. I keep talking about that. And there is the ISBN number. The only thing I will say, wherever you are in the world, if you order direct from Wingleader, you are guaranteed good packaging. If you go back and look at my other photo archive series, I always show you the packaging that you get. And that they're always very well packaged in cardboard and plastic and bubble wrap, so that there's no damage, there's no worry about getting wet or damp or anything like that. So very, very good, very very good company to buy from, should I say. So here we have number 27, and it's the Handy Page Halifax Early Merlin engine variants. Now, I'll be honest up front, this is an aircraft I know absolutely nothing about. I only tend to know about aircraft that I research for my hobby. I have never built a Halifax. I've never wanted to build a Halifax. I was going to have a go at the Revell one, but then I heard there was loads and loads of issues with it, and I thought, well, if I do, it'll just drive me crazy. And 72nd isn't my thing. I would like to see one of these in 32nd scale. Would be really good. Or even maybe 48 scale would be good. But it is a very, very pretty plane. You know, as it says in here, kind of overshadowed by the Lancaster, much like many aircraft in World War II. You know, you had the B-17 overshadowed the B-24, the Spitfire overshadowed the Hurricane, that sort of thing. But going into the book, you can see, as normal, sort of A4 size, opening out into a double. A bit of an introduction here from Peter Allen. He's the author of the book, and they've put together a hell of a lot of information in here. It talks in here about, as the aircraft developed, it gained more and more and more lumps and bumps and everything, and they'll talk about that more in the next series. It says here, one of the main things that the early Halifaxes were known for was their multitude of lumps and bumps. Here, for the first time, Pete has painstakingly identified all of them, found out why they were there, and in future volumes we'll see how they were all removed to create the Elegant Mark III. As with all the books in this series, we've enhanced the photos to pull out the shadow detail and have added arrows and letters to identify points of interest. So there we go. I've just said they gained loads of lumps and bumps. They didn't. They lost them. So I even got that wrong. So look at the book here. Again, beautiful period images. No restored aircraft here. Really, really nice. And any colour images you see are generally, you know, wartime colour images. So here you can see the production. Talks about the production. We've got all the way from the Mark 1 Series 1 all the way up to the Mark 5 Series 1, and the different serial numbers. So for some reason here it goes straight from Mark 2 to Mark 5, but we know that British aircraft tend to do that. Look at the Spitfires. And it does mention in here that in here it's easy to follow all the production differences and everything. But then when you get down to here and you've got these 5 different factories producing aircraft, then it became a little bit mumble jumble because of all the numbers and everything. They had to, you know, they missed out certain numbers, didn't they, for security. So here we can see two Halifaxes waiting their final checks, and that's in Radlett, just north of London. I'm sure some of you will be familiar with that area. I doubt there's any aircraft manufacturing going on there, to be quite honest with you. So until English Electric began production in September 41, all Halifax final assembly and production test flying was conducted from Radlett. So here we have our prototypes. You can see no turret on the tail. We have fuel vents, twin fuel vents in the wings, and other little bumps, bits and pieces on there. You can see the general shape of the Halifax is there. We've got funny looking exhaust. We've got different looking engine air intakes on the engines down in there. And here you can see 7245. This is the sort of first aircraft that was developed for faults found with 7244, and you can see we've got extended engine nacelles down here and all sorts of other odds and ends and differences going on down there. So if you want to read more about that, you'll have to go and get the book. So in here we have pictures of the interior, very different, in very similar sized aircraft to the Lancaster, totally different layout. And when like me, you know the Lancaster quite well, this all seems a little sort of illogical, a bit strange. As you can see, the bombers compartment in a Lanc, they had plenty of room, but here it's very, very cramped. You can see he's sort of led there in that narrow seat. He's got ammo bins around his head. There's all sorts of equipment going on down here, so lots and lots of stuff in his way. And we've also got the radio guy down there, and the navigator is up the back. So here you can see the early production aircraft were fitted with the transmitters. You've got the radio guy there. You can see the window sat there, and he's actually sat underneath the pilot here. You can see on this side, you can see here's the pilot, and the radio guy is actually sat beneath him. Flight engineer is sat with his back facing the pilot. So it says up here generally what happened. The bomb aimer carried out the duties of the second pilot during takeoff and landing. So whereas in a Lancaster the flight engineer had that job because the flight engineer was there, with this aircraft, the flight engineer was sat here with his back. So you can imagine trying to get around and underneath this footrest, which is permanently fixed, to get into the folded down. I mean, it'd be a nightmare. And they have to leave this great big gap down here for these guys to get into the nose. So you're down in the nose, you've got the bomb aimer and the radio guy. So flight engineer sat behind. Here you can see interior detail on the instrument panel. Very, very different from the Lanc. Great big thick tubes for throttle levers and stuff, which would look totally inaccurate on a model, but it's real. And then here we've got the rear gunners. Something to note, they should have noted in the B-17, as you notice, that the side gunners, should I say, they've got them staggered. They didn't do that until later in the war with the B-17 because they used to knock into each other. They've got their spare ammo bins down here for their guns. They're on the 303 Vickers. And here you can see, I was amazed to read this, the ammo belts for the rear turret are actually made of plastic, and they used to distort, so the later aircraft had these chrome ones fitted. So yeah, amazing. Amazing what you find out in these books. So you can see here a few more differences. We've got the Mark 1 Series 1 here, and it's talking about the different features on the wing, on the nose. You've got some single fuel tank vents there. I've never seen an aircraft with fuel tank vents sticking out of the wing. I must be honest, it's a first for me. And then here we've got the ventral turret, which has got this this big wide, the guns are wide apart, and there's a big perspex area to look out of. So there's no real talk in this book about the ventral turret. There's obviously not a lot of information about it. Either that or I've completely missed it. And then here once again we've got the lovely typical CAD drawing showing all the details and all the modeller's notes. So you've got the different type of exhausts on there. Note the demarcation line and the shape of the demarcation line, the turrets, antenna, DF loop, all that sort of stuff. Interesting to see in here. This is interesting for modelers. See these flaps, they're hung right down in the vertical position, and that was how they were often seen on the ground according to this book. So they are sort of over actuated, if you like, and they have this design where they allow air to come through over the flaps, and it actually increases the lift. Here you can see some weathering, perfect examples of weathering with chipping and everything. Again, we've got these different exhausts, we've got the counterweights for the ailerons there. So very interesting. Rear turret, lots and lots of different variations and stuff to read about going on there. What's interesting here is the guns are mounted on their side, and I just had a quick read in here, which is wonderful for the ammo loaders, because they can open them up, feed the ammo in, shut them. But if they get a jam, it's very, very difficult for the gunner to reach round, rather than just have it open here on top of him. He's got to reach around and open it sideways, and I doubt if he had much room to open it, and sort of try and keep himself alive as well. It's a different turret from the it's It's a bolt and pull turret rather than a Nash turret, and basically it's operated by a joystick rather than the two hand grips that we know so well in the Lancasters. So interesting, but we've still got the quad gun set up. More pictures here. You can see they're picking up on different details around the aircraft. And then here we are, here's one from June 1941. Got the Cheshire symbol on there. Does that say that's how the saying came? Complete with grinning Cheshire cats and a large wheel of Cheshire cheese. I thought it was saying that's how he invented the phrase grinning like a Cheshire cat. And then here we've got some details of I think that's the barrage balloon cutters there. You can see that short grab rail there. That's for the escape hatches, so they've got something to grab hold of when they jump out of those holes in the roof. Look, the bomb bay doors there, they're sort of cantilevered up. Is cantilevered the right word? They sort of overlap each other. Note on here as well, the high demarcation line for the camouflage now. And then this one here, compared to the pictures we saw before, where the camouflage comes right down, here you can see it's all the way up, and there you can see it's sort of halfway down the side. So check carefully for the model you're building and make sure you get it right. Here you can see the unusual round radiators and an oval oil cooler radiator there. It's nice to see they're silver because of, you know, my big debate about the Lancaster radiators. I'm wondering if they're aluminium or if they're painted silver. But they certainly look silver there, but they don't look very silver there, do they? So I don't know. We got here some asbestos covers by the look of it over the distinctive bulge fairings, which wrapped. There's no talk about them. I think they're asbestos covers, flame dampeners. And here we can see this is why I think the Halifax would make a very interesting model in 32nd scale, because unlike the Lancaster, you've got all this glazing. You've got all that glazing in the nose there. You've got all this glazing in the side. You would see everything inside if you just look through. It'd be very interesting to look at rather than all the closed-in area of the Lancaster. Here we can see the nose turret with the big ammo bins and the chutes coming out the front. You can just see from there how much that would have intruded on the poor bomb aimer beneath. So mid-upper turrets, we've got some differences here. They did try 50 cals in these, but it never got off the ground. And there's lots in here telling you all about the different guns. And here we are back inside the aircraft again. We can see the entrance hatch there. Here we are cleaning some guns. Very similar picture to what we've got in the Lancaster book. I finally found out what these WT things are. They mean electrically bonded. So they're earthed, if you like. And then here's a nice picture of one with some wear. A nice diorama set up for you there. Got the access ladder going in. Right, a window above the ladder. Pilot not looking very happy, looking out the window there. And then here we've got a crew, or a complete squadron in front of a Halifax there. We've got one in flight. Again, you can see the little grab rail on the top there. And then we're going to talk here about exhaust manifolds and flame dampeners. You can see very unusual exhausts on Halifax. They sort of directed the exhaust forward and then back. So I guess they were thinking by then it's sort of light energy had all gone. You can see a different type there. And here we can see some what's this, the arrows, the yellow discs on the blade roots, denoting that the blades were constructed from jickwood, Canadian birch veneers at the root, and compressed Douglas fir or spruce boards in the main body of the blade. Interesting. Different woods laminated together. This was an interesting picture. Here you can see the centre the centre section of the fuselage is as yet unpainted. Very strange. Here's the bomb bay. You can see those doors all sort of folding up into themselves, and not a lot of room. You can see that guy bending over. You know, there's probably only about 4 feet there, pulling the bombs up into the bomb bay, and they've also got bomb bays in the wings, and there's a guy winching the bombs up in. Oh dear, problem on the ground. Apparently they couldn't shut the engine down. It steered itself into a parked aircraft. Luckily no one was hurt. It's interesting to see here the two different demarcations on the camouflage, and as you can see there, you know, totally different to that one. You got this one here, straight line. It's not hard, it's soft edged, but you know, completely different. Here you can see again we've got the asbestos covers over the exhaust, and then here we've got the just the fuel vents. That B is going to be for the raft, I'm guessing. Yeah, the dinghy stowage, short handrail C, additional forward escape hatch D. So some only had one, some had two. Unlike the aft hatch, which was provided with a ladder on the starboard side wall, the forward hatch was accessed by standing on the crew rest bunks. So this one had a ladder, and that one you had to stand on the bunks. And A is, yeah, they're extra vents for the fuel tanks. I don't know why they had these fuel tanks. It was interesting as well. You got these fuel dump pipes here on the back of the wings, and they were attached to the flaps, so they had to have rubber hoses in them. Here you can see one towing a Hamel car. There you can see one towing a glider. More images here. You can see some white markings on the guns, donating something or other, and you can see the starboard trim tab on the aileron sticking out. That's of note for a certain model. This apparently is a very famous photo of a Halifax, and is genuine, correct colour, taken for Flight magazine in June 1942. So very, very nice picture, that one. And then here, I read this scared me. Apparently this aircraft actually touched the water. It came down and touched the sea. It lost altitude. You can see the damage. The propeller blades are all gone. You know, the ends of the blades are gone. You can see that they're wood. And you can see the damage to the engines and everything where it's touched down. So it's, yeah, quite incredible that they actually managed to get back with that. I mean, you think that propeller can't have been providing much forward motion at all. This is very interesting for Lancasters and Halifaxes. If you look at this one, you can see the different colour around the serial number and around the WT codes. And this was originally DTD 308 Night finish, having been completely repainted with the more matte RMD 2A. So I know that in the Lancaster books they talk about the original Night camouflage was very, very susceptible to chipping and wear and just basically coming off, so they changed to a black paint instead. So worth bearing in mind. More modeller's notes here. Very, very nice indeed. Here we can see a beautiful photograph at night. Notice how all the riveting has become exposed. You can see all the riveting on there, look. So if we could get a nice 30-second scale kit of this with raised riveting and stress panels, you can imagine you could go to town with your dry brushing. Some more wartime photos. Looking across the wing. Nice colour image there of some bombs being loaded. Aerials and masts. So we've got the 1154 and 1155 antenna there. Got the plastic insulators on them. What's this here? Featured de-icing boots on both aerial masts with external pneumatic supply pipes. The SBA main signal aerial being installed with the forward mast. There we go. That's de-icing pipes. You could add those to your model. They'd look interesting, wouldn't they? Here you can see more antenna wires, all being denoted by letters that you can see, in a red arrow there pointing one out. DF loop made in 3 pieces and then covered with varnish tape. You can see your upward facing formation light. Nice colour picture there of an engine being worked on. You can see it's been stripped right down. The actual cylinder block has been, the cylinder block on the right side has been removed. You can see the studs there. So yeah, a lot of work going on with that one. I suppose if they just take the engine off and fit another engine, it surely would have been easier to work on the ground. So, hey ho, maybe engines were in short supply. Well, they were in short supply at this time, weren't they? You can see showing that grab rail again. and you can see all the antenna on here coming out to the fins, going back to that antenna there. That's where your de-icing tubes would have been. What's this one showing us here? Pair of rear fuselage windows were not reinstated, and as evidenced by the different finish surrounding the serial number, another aircraft whose DTD 308 night was repainted. So we can see there we go, you can see that area there, the different colour underneath. From what I can gather, this was more like a very dark German grey, this night colour. In fact, I saw a 32nd scale Lancaster at Telford. The guy from Hong Kong, he'd actually painted that German grey and then highlighted it with all sorts of other colour, blacks and dark greys. This one firing up in the Middle East, making a load of dust. Senior Hanley Page staff pose with an unidentified Mark II Series 1 at Radlett in 42. Cool, yeah, you can see them there. It's talking about the drag that those exhaust shrouds cause. You can see them sticking out, blimey. More images here. This is in India being inspected, and they're showing this one here has got a Mark 14 bomb sight. And then in the Halifax Life they had a job to do and reduce drag. So you can see here these two aircraft here have had canvas. Is it canvas? Doped fabric to reduce the gap around the turret and sort of make it a bit more aerodynamic. And you can see here this one's been completely covered over, so you can have a look at that and have a read of it. And I'm not going to try and say that guy's name. Digviad Shi Inhi Ranti. Oh, no way. It's a very, very long Indian. In fact, there's two very long Indian names there, which I'm not going to destroy. So here we've got two different undercarriage manufacturers. We've got Messer and Doughty, and of course now we've got Messer Doughty. They've joined up, and you can see the differences between the undercarriage legs here and everything. They talk about all the differences there. And then we've got a Mark V Series 1. This is a newly built Route Securities Mark V Series 1, as seen at Speak in October 42. And then we've got a lovely colour picture of the engine there. We've got some ladies working, fitting the oil tanks, and the slatted front wing has now disappeared. They've got like an armoured strip on there. And then there's all our production numbers and unit codes. Well, Halifax Squadron and unit codes, not production numbers. Production numbers is at the front, isn't it? So there we go. That's the book on the Halifax, and what a lovely book it is. As I say, it's something I don't know a lot about. Well, something I know nothing about. I now know a little bit more, but I'm sure I could sit down and read this for a couple of hours and learn a lot, as could you. So if the Halifax is your thing, and I know it is a very, very popular bomber amongst the British modelling community, and probably the Canadians as well, it's a book well worth having. So it's number 27 in the Wingleader Photo Archive, and it's there is the ISBN code should you want to order it from somewhere else in your country, wherever you are in the world. However, as I say, wingleader.co.uk, they ship all over the world. So there you go. And they ship very fast as well. I've known people in the USA, it's been like 4 days and they've got it. It's just crazy. Sometimes that's faster than the UK. In fact, our Royal Mail has just been fined £5.5 million for late deliveries. While I'm here, I just want to talk about, this was number 27. And as you can see here, number 27, we've already covered this book, the Spitfire, number 26. This one's going to be number 28, the Boston Havoc in RAF service. And then we're going to have the Tempest, or these two, whichever comes first. But we've got the B-24 coming and the Tempest. So really looking forward to those. This is going to be very popular. Douglas Boston Havoc in RAF service, Northwest Europe. Mark's knowledge of that plane is just unbelievable. And also, just want to quickly mention here, Wingleader Archive, one of the largest private World War II aviation photo libraries in the world. You pay an annual fee and you'll have access to over 25,000 military and aviation photos, including 15,000 plus World War II aviation images. I'm sure he said it's about 28,000 now. But you can see this is the kind of thing you're going to get, and they're all going to be in high definition, you know, proper, not sort of not a picture like this that when you blow it up you can't see anything. Absolutely fantastic for the modeler. and really good. It's going to be very interesting to see, and I'll be having a link to that soon, so I'll get some samples up and you can have you'll be able to have a look, and then we'll see how much it is and everything, and be really interesting. So thank you for watching. As I say, if you want to get this one, get on over to Wingleader and fill your boots. There's lots and lots to read in there. What was it, 72 pages, you know, 20 quid. It's unbelievable. Magazines, some magazines are £7.50 now, aren't they? Crazy. Right, enjoy. See you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.